If you are looking for actual systemic racism, well, this is a perfect example of it in society. If you're looking at from over-the-top systemic racism, here's a almost entirely white community that is poor and that is impoverished and that is being systemically oppressed by the government through ecological disaster that will lead to their deaths, undoubtedly.
Look, dude, your anger is justified. I'm quite upset that there's not more being done to help out the residents of East Palestine, Ohio through this tragedy that was fueled by the greed and avarice of Norfolk Southern, the train company, and the government inaction of Pete Buttigieg and the Department of Transportation under the Biden administration. But let's be clear.
Let me be clear.
This is not systemic racism towards white people. There was no intention or deliberate action taken to make this disaster happen in this community, compared to what happened in Flint, Michigan, a predominantly black community, where the Michigan state government actually took deliberate steps to switch over the water source from a clean and healthy source to a polluted and poisoned source as a way to save money, millions of dollars. That was planned. This was a disaster. But dude, I feel your anger. I'm quite upset that the government isn't doing more to regulate and punish the train company, Norfolk Southern, for this disaster. But your anger is misplaced. It's not the fault of the woke left that the government isn't doing more to help the residents of East Palestine, Ohio. In fact, it is actually woke to call out the government for not doing anything, because this community has been marginalized, but not because they are white or conservative, but because they have been left behind because they are a poorer, more rural community. But it must be the fault of the woke left, right? Just watching this next clip, how this knockoff version of Tucker Carlson fails to direct actual accountability towards the real culprits in this instance. The corruption of the train company, Norfolk Southern, and the government's cowardice in not regulating them. Take a look.
These individuals are the victims of leftist ecological and racial terrorism. The same messaging that Pete Buttigieg often says. He talks about racist roads. He talks about racist environmental terrorism against people. It disproportionately affects communities of color. How many times have you heard that? And so here, you have a community that is being disproportionately affected by ecological terrorism, and nobody's lifting a finger. If you're looking for systemic racism, here it is. But it's against white Republicans predominantly. So it's allowed. In fact, it's encouraged. It's endorsed.
It's not encouraged or endorsed. You think the woke left is that organized to do something like this on purpose? Look, wannabe Ben Shapiro, you lay out some decent criticisms, but for all the wrong reasons. The train derailment itself is a symptom of corrupted capitalism and the failure of our government to regulate the industries in which it oversees.
You're right that this town swung for Trump. But historically, it's a strong Democratic place.
Well, hold on. But let me interrupt you, Pedro. Doesn't that make them hate them more? It makes them, that they used to be Democrat and they're no longer. Like, these people defected from us. Is this some sort of cruel punishment?
Good old Charlie Kirk, spitting out the same garbage as Benny. Just going to show that these guys are directing their anger and vitriol towards the completely wrong place. But then again, they aren't paid to be honest. They're paid to whip up the Republican voters however way they can. And that's all I have for you today on The Breakdown. Thank you for joining me. My name is Scott Johnson. You can find more of me on my TikTok, which is in the description below. You can also follow me on The Gaze. That is my YouTube, where I post my longer form content. Low key, they're both pretty cool, so you should totally go check them out. But most importantly, don't forget to smash that subscribe button to The Breakdown, where you can find more from independent creators like myself. These videos are pretty awesome. You should totally binge watch them. You know you want to.